Welcome to the Gloria Show, where personal growth takes center stage. Founder and CEO of Personal Dynamics, Gloria Sloan, shares practical strategies to enrich your life, elevate your mindset, and empower your journey. As she reminds us, ultra-successful people never stop learning, reaching, and growing. Get ready for fresh insights and uplifting inspiration. Here's your host, Gloria Sloan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gloria Show. I hope you have stepped into the new year full of possibilities that will help you to grow, elevate, and upgrade your life in a direction that embraces your purpose. I'm so glad you're joining me today for another insightful and motivating episode that will speak to your soul and help you discover your purpose. In today's episode, I share the journey of finding my why and the path to living my purpose. I want you to know the story behind the life coach Gloria Sloan and the Gloria Show. To know your purpose, you need to find your why. And the process involves reflecting on past experiences, identifying core values. You have to recognize your strengths, and you ask yourself powerful questions about what truly matters to you. Then you must decide how you want to contribute to the life you are living in meaningful ways that describe your why. It's an ongoing journey of self-discovery, supported by seeking new perspectives, motivation, learning, and acting toward a new you, a profound sense of personal fulfillment. Knowing your why provides clarity for decision making and the actions that you take. So here's the initiative to get you started. You have to take advantage of the opportunities right in front of you. And this is really critical because sometimes your opportunities and everything is just right there. And you have to look at it, because if it's right in front of you, and you have to understand that investing in yourself is essential to knowing your true purpose. And if it's in front of you, and if it's an opportunity, then that's when you know it's time to invest. It took me years of laboring through business experiences to realize why I'm so dedicated to helping others self-develop, to reach their full potential, and live a life of fulfillment. It took me years to really connect with that. Even if you are already successful, and this is important, even if you're already successful, your purpose doesn't stop there. I accomplished a lifetime of dreams with resilience and dedication to extending my purpose into a bigger why. I'm the product and living example of a self-directed personal growth journey. I speak to that. My life's trajectory has been shaped not only by hard work, perseverance, and a commitment to lifelong learning, but also by making relentless investments in myself along the way. So my story unfolds significant blessings that have been fundamental to living my purpose-driven life. Finding your why is not a destination that you arrive at. But it's a journey of gentle unfolding. As you embark on this exploration, you may encounter new passions and interests that will guide you along the way. And that's really what happened to me. Because as you navigate through experiences, joy, the ups and downs, and even challenges, you begin to piece together clues that illuminate your path. That's why you have to pay attention to how you live. Because each step you take and every lesson you learn brings you closer to understanding your unique essence and what resonates deeply with you. And you say, well, Gloria, doing all this, what are the benefits? The benefits of finding your why go deeper, moving beyond success to a sense of meaning and purpose. You know, maybe you've heard the saying that God is more interested in why you do something than in what you do. Let me say that again. God is more interested in why we do something than in what we do. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. In his book, Find Your Why, Simon Sinek says, if we want to feel an undying passion for our work, if we want to feel we are contributing to something bigger than ourselves, we all need to know why. What I've learned is that if your passion in life is followed long and earnestly enough, the pieces of knowledge begin to fall into place. They do. And gradually things make sense for you. When we know what we are doing, we have come to power. When you know what you're doing, when you know what you know what you know, you have come to power and to finding and knowing what your purpose is. I believe that how we are raised has a lasting effect on spiritual and personal growth. I grew up in the civil rights era. Interesting that I'm talking about this today after we celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday on yesterday, but I grew up in that era. I was raised by my father after I'd lost my mother to illness at a young age. My learning path started as the only Black student in my high school for 2 years. Yeah, for 2 years during the desegregation in the mid 1960s. That was me. Becoming the first Black student to graduate from that high school. So I have some history. But that set the pace for navigating my life through living and learning. I am forever grateful for the love and support of my dear father. He was my guiding light and source of inspiration. I was a curious little girl. I was always asking him many questions about a lot of things. And he would always give me a very satisfying answer. Learning has a way of taking root in our hearts and our minds for the long haul, because my father would answer me in a straightforward way. Because then as I grew older, I asked more questions about life in general. But he was a man of strength and wisdom. And when he gave that straightforward answer, he was to the point. And he would often add to his response to my questions by saying, keep living, and keep learning. keep living and keep learning. And I find myself still saying that to this day. I'll say it, keep living and keep learning. One day, those very words lingered with me during a time when I really, really needed them. I was at a crossroads of facing essential decisions, trying to find my purpose and the path to achieving my goals. I was like stuck. I was really stuck. I was having a rough time. I began to visualize my life based on my father's words to keep living and keep learning. The breakthrough was knowing how to self direct my learning and finding the path to my why, which led to me discovering my purpose. So my life was transformed when I aligned my skills, my talents, and my gifts with continuous learning. And it indeed was a journey for me because from my humble beginnings and from having the background of my education, what it was, I needed to have the strength to lean on to figure out, how am I going to do this? How am I going to embrace on my why to find my purpose? So as I continued to grow and self-develop and ask myself a lot of questions, I went through a lot of different growing changes to find that. And maybe you're dealing with something similar. Maybe you have struggled to really put your why in place. And maybe it's not a struggle. Maybe you've gotten all the education that you need, all the certifications that you need, all the degrees and everything that you need, and everything is perfect in your life, but something still might be missing. And you haven't quite determined if this is what you're really supposed to do. Well, as I talked about, things illuminating over a period of time. And it does take time for you to realize just how serious your mindset can be to wrap around the things that you're good at. Some of us have talents that we're extremely gifted in. And I say that because in coaching, sometimes I help people to bring out those gifts and those talents and those things that they're overlooking, they're not using. And it could be the turning point and the breakthrough when you know how to self-direct something that you already know to manifest and make a bigger impact on your why to serve your purpose. And it can really make a difference. It can really, really make a difference, in your life when you can identify that. So I'm really speaking from the heart now because I want you to know that the Gloria Sloan that you see, the Gloria Sloan that you hear, I had to grow into this, just like you're growing into who you are and what you do. But you have to pay attention to your life. You have to pay attention to your life. And however you were raised and who you were raised by, maybe it left a mark on you in some way. Maybe it did, and you just haven't figured out exactly how the connections come together to connect your why to finding your purpose. But I'm going to share more. I'm going to share more about the impact of my growth and how I really came down to knowing that I'm doing what I know I should be doing because you feel it, you grow with it. And it took some steps to doing it. It took some changes to doing it. And it took a lot of ups and downs. You know, we go through life, we experience a lot of things, but there comes a time when you have a reckoning with that why. And if you've got a whole lot of whys out there, you could be looking at more than one why. You really could. So I'm here to tell you my story in hopes that something that I can share with you that will spark the gifts, the talents, and everything that you know that you have to self-direct into a why that becomes your purpose. And you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because if you're doing what you feel like you're supposed to be doing, like I say, the success goes way beyond what you ever imagined. And until you know that and feel that. So we're going to take a break. And when I come back, I'm going to get more in depth into my why and my purpose and why I'm living a fulfilled life. I am. Regardless of what may look like to anybody else, yeah, I have my challenges, my ups and downs, my good days, my bad days, and a whole lot of things that I have to face every day. But I am blessed to know that I'm living fulfilled because I'm grateful. Things could be a lot different, but I'm grateful. And when you know that you're living a grateful life, you face your purpose straightforward, and it can totally make a difference. We're going to take a quick break. And when I come back, I'm going to give you some more impactful information on terms of how you can grow and elevate and hit that purpose right on top of it. And you can do it. Be back in a minute.
Do you ever feel stuck? Like you know you are capable of more, but you are not quite sure how to move forward? Gloria Sloan's life coaching program is designed to help individuals break through limiting beliefs, build self-confidence, and gain clarity both in their personal and professional development. Through personalized coaching, Gloria works one-on-one with clients to create clear plans, strengthen mindsets, and reconnect them with their purpose. Gloria's life coaching program is virtual, flexible, and results-driven, with a supportive structure designed to keep you focused, accountable, and moving forward with confidence and momentum. Clients gain clarity, confidence, and the tools needed to unlock their full potential from the inside out. Gloria's belief that ultra-successful people are always learning and seeking new ways to find fulfillment and elevate personal development is what drives her fierce dedication to her clients. Are you ready for your next chapter to begin? All it takes is one powerful decision. Make that decision now and visit www.gloriasloan.com and book your consultation call today. Gloria's ready when you are. It's time to begin your journey.
Hello, and welcome back to the Gloria Show. We are talking about finding your why to discover your purpose. And I've been sharing some background about my own personal growth and development that I hope will help you if you are trying to look for ways to find your why, to know what your purpose. I'm sharing more about the life coach and Gloria Sloan so that hopefully there is something on my journey that will help you on yours. So if you're familiar with the book by Rick Warren, he wrote the book a few years ago, several years ago, The Purpose-Driven Life. You know that knowing your purpose simplifies your life. And with a clear purpose, you have no foundation on which to base your decision Without a clear purpose, you don't have a foundation to base your decisions to allocate your time. It's basically how Rick Warren puts it in his book, The Purpose-Driven Life. What I didn't mention earlier when I was talking about my father is that he was an entrepreneur who also worked full-time job to provide for his family while doing something he enjoyed. I was born into a neighborhood storefront store. Yeah, it was at the time, it was like right there in front of the house that we owned at the time. And that was part of my growing up through high school. I always knew my father as working. He had many side things, but that was one of the main focuses in terms of his entrepreneurship, was that storefront that later went to something larger. And he still worked and did other things, but that was his business. And I watched him grow that business from, I mean, I could say I grew it when I was born, it was there. So I watched him as he worked. He worked many side jobs, full-time jobs, but he also ran the business. And I was in my father's footsteps as he worked. And he served the community, in the community, and he took me to church every Sunday. We went to church. That was important. My spiritual growth was the backbone because my father believed in that. You know, he directed the church choir, taught Sunday school, and everybody knew Mr. Dave because that was our life. And every Sunday, you know, we went to church. And so when you're talking about the purpose-driven life, back to Rick Warren's book, you know the purpose that simplifies your life. And I had to direct it to that because being raised by my father, these were things that I learned my values. Values were rooted in me and that remain this present day in me. But those values are the ones that I learned from him because he had a balance of doing many things, but they all mattered. They all mattered as he was living and working his why and his purpose. So I'm sharing this with you because I always felt that the growth of a purpose-driven life, I felt it, but didn't connect with it for years. You know, as we grow up, you know, and we go through many things, you get married, you have children, you go through many different phases of your growth, but none of it connected. And that's all a part of how we transform into becoming the human beings and the adults in life. But after graduating and moving forward with the things that I wanted to do and live in my values, my transformation from business college, I went to business college, and then I was introduced to Ophelia DeVore Institute in New York. And after going through, that was an amazing part of my journey, learning what I learned there. I found jobs that opened doors to new opportunities. And from those new opportunities, I was able to self-direct things that I knew. I was a person that everything I learned, I knew what I knew, and I wanted to make sure that I could use it doing something else. And I'll come back to that because that's really how I built my business. It's really how I built my business. Everything that I knew how to do, I found a way to expand on that. So after the experience with going to Ophelia DeVore, I realized that there was something in that background that helped me to transform into a life of being able to take what I knew from all of my skills to self-direct them into the doors of opportunities. I was driven to believe that personal development wasn't just a pursuit, but the beginning of realizing why I wanted to create the highest version possible for my life so I could help others to achieve their aspirations. I want to tell you a little bit about the affiliate award, the school in New York. Um, it was where a lot of the students were looking to pursue acting careers, modeling careers. They were relatives of very well-known people in the film industry. And somehow I just kind of landed in that experience. And it was very good but I wasn't trying to be into to some of the things that the other students were. I could have. In high school, I was in the drama club, and don't forget, coming from the background where I came from, I probably could have used that drama club acting skills to explore that opportunity, but I was more interested in developing Gloria in a different way. So everything that I learned there, the business etiquette and the personal development end of it, I was too busy trying to turn all of that into me, the version of realizing who I was and creating the highest version possible for myself. I learned that early on. So as my career expanded into recruiting, training, and job placement, I began to understand human potential, and it deepened with me because I loved training, I loved recruiting, I loved job placement, and I did it on a national level. I mean, I was matching people with jobs, all over the place in the engineering field and then training. And I began to see that I had a connection to human potential. And when you know that, it puts you in a different space. I was helping people, and it was a good feeling. I liked it. It felt good. When I could help someone to find a job or help someone in a career, and they weren't using all of their skills, and I could suggest that they do this. And then when I got involved in doing workforce development, helping companies and organizations to develop jobs to hiring, I felt good about doing all that. So I continued to invest in myself. I did. I continued to invest in myself. And like my father, I eventually became an entrepreneur. I did. I just took a big risk and knocked on doors. And before I knew it, I was in business. And the businesses that I started, it kept growing. I had more clients. I hired people to work for me. And it was building a successful, eventually, event planning business nationally and some international business and conference management. I met a lot of interesting people, did a lot of things that were just beyond what I ever thought that I could ever do. But everything that I learned and everything that I had put together to become the version that I wanted to become, I started using it. And I guess that's why I'm so engaged in when I'm coaching people, to let them know that you have to use everything you have. Don't leave anything on the table. Everything you know how to do, especially if you know you do it well, use it to build on it. I did everything that I could to make absolutely sure that I was not leaving anything unused. I was way before my time. And the good thing about it is I hired other people to help me. I learned early on that when you hire people to do what you know how to do, you duplicate yourself. And so that was my first act of business. I learned that if you want to be successful in growing and expanding your business, you have to find people that you can teach and train to do what you want to do like you want them to do it, if it's helping you to be productive and to grow. So I learned how to keep my eye on the revenue. I knew what I needed to do and who I needed to have in place to do the things that we needed to do. I continue to invest in myself. And I think that when you're growing a business, you learn how to invest in your business and you learn how to put those things in place. It just kept growing. I was being blessed and I met people who had interest in what I'm doing and I made connections. And before I knew it, I was like expanding. I had more than one location. I had hired several people and we began putting the show on the road, traveling, event planning all over, meeting celebrities, entertainment. And it was beyond my dreams and my blessings just kept unfolding and I was living my purpose. And I knew it then because I could see things. And so I am blessed to tell you that in 2024, Personal Dynamics Inc. celebrated 30 years of business. 30 years of business. Because between the conference management and the event planning, it propelled my professional career. It propelled it. And I stayed focused. I stayed true to my why because I had learned what my purpose was. And when you're good at what you do and you know it, you just play it out, work it out. So after 30 years of still doing it, I mean, the business changed in degrees in terms of how I was doing business and what phases of business that I was doing, but I stayed with it. Ultimately, I recognized that my purpose was to help people to grow by using their essential life skills that mattered. And that's how I became the Gloria Sloan that you see and hear and know today. And that is how I began to even expand. It took a tragedy, in my life along the way to realize that I was even an author. And when that happened, I started writing a journal. Had no idea at that time it was going to become a book, but it did. It was my first book, Abundant Faith, Secrets to Plenty, Traveling on Life's Journey. That's the title of it. I wrote my first book and still doing business. And I was still living the why of my purpose. So I became an author. And as I was life coaching, I realized that, you're talking to people and people are hearing what you're saying. I got deeper into it after I published my first book. And then I went on to the second book, Life Skills for the Journey. And that really expanded it into more of who I am because I was able to put on paper and talk about ways that I had self-directed my life to expand, to grow business. And I thought, if I can put this in a way that it talks about the life skills that you can use. And so that's when I began to put more into my life coaching, because I truly believe that there are life skills. When I started doing this, people thought of life skills as that, children up to age 5, they start learning how to do things, but life skills go way beyond that. We're always growing our life skills. And I learned that ongoing, your life skills continue to develop way into your years of learning and learning and learning. And mine are still developing, even at my age. Yes, even at my age. And that's why I know that the path and the journey that I went, I can help other people because I'm speaking from life experience. I am speaking and teaching from, yes, what I know, but also what I've studied and what I have developed. And so when you talk about life skills for the journey, that's why I can talk about it. And that's why I know that it matters. When you take your essential life skills, they're essential. Your story is essential. Your purpose, your why, all of these things that I talk about in Life Skills for the Journey. And I have to put this plug in because there's a workbook now that accompanies it that even helps you even more. Well, what I want you to know is everything in that book and in that workbook, these are hands-on things from Gloria Sloan's journey through learning, through experiences, but they're backed up by research and other people who invested into the knowledge of helping me to write the book, to put the information that's in there. It's validated. It's good stuff because I knew what I was doing. When you know what you're doing, when you have masterminded your why into your purpose, and you can speak to it with confidence. And like I say, it goes way beyond all of the success of, yes, you have your degrees, your certifications, your titles, and all you've moved up in the world. You're at the peak of your life where you think everything is the best. It couldn't get any better. I'm here to tell you it can get better. It gets better and better and better. Yes. I'm talking about the fulfillment of life. And the fulfillment of life is when you can feel it, when you can talk about it and the adrenaline just runs high. Yeah. And that's why I believe in life coaching with Life Skills for the Journey. And that's why I truly, truly do believe that my passion for what I do that determine the why, that put the purpose in place for what I do, I'm confident about it. And that's what I want to tell you. When you are confident about your purpose and your why, and when you're living it, and when you can share it openly and just talk about it and you feel it, it's a good feeling. And to me, that's fulfillment. Some people get, I think, fulfillment all mixed up. They think it's a lot of material stuff. You got a whole lot of, material things that you're also happy about. But fulfillment is an inner piece, it's an inner thing that you feel. It's not about the material things, the houses and the cars and all that. Fulfillment goes way beyond that, in my opinion. And when you're living it, you can speak more confident about it. And when you can speak more confident about it, it unfolds and you're able to tell your story in a way that it matters because you know that you are able to self-direct what you know that's going to help someone else to find some of the same fulfillment in areas that will help them to embrace their life. Yeah. So if I get a little anxious and a little excited when I'm talking about life skills for the journey and my way and my path, yeah, I am. I am. And you could be too, and you should be too. Because when you find that your why has manifested into your purpose and that you're living well with it, it's a good feeling. And when you know you're sharing it, you're helping someone else. So no matter what it is that you're doing in life, if you are helping someone else to get to where they want to be, and it's not even about all the competition that you see a lot of people just competing with this, competing with that. They want to be the best speaker. They want to be the best coach. They want to be the best. Okay, it's always good, yeah, that you want to be the best, the best. But stop sometimes and think about where you were and what it took for you to get there, and then realize that, you can take somebody with you if they're willing to go on the journey of learning and self-discovering who they are. Use what you know how to do. Use it. Self-directed. You can do that. And I'm here to tell you that you're talking about being fulfilled and feeling fulfilled and grateful. I'm just thankful that, yeah, I did a lot of hard work in my earlier years, and I am so thankful that I'm not working as hard as I used to. And it's a blessing because now I am living a life of fulfillment, and I am using what I know how to do to help others. And it's a good feeling. Don't go away. I'll be right back. And when I come back, I'll share more of my heartfelt journey.
Are you growing in the direction of your aspirations? Did you know your life's journey is shaped by the choices you make today? Now is the time to invest in yourself to grow, elevate, and upgrade your life. In Life Skills for the Journey, Gloria Sloan offers a transformational guide to unlocking your full potential. Blending practical tools, inspirational wisdom, and proven life skills, this book empowers you to take control of your future with confidence and clarity. From decision-making to self-discovery, from vision to action, this book is your blueprint for personal growth. And now, you can go deeper with the Life Skills for the Journey Companion Workbook, a powerful tool filled with practical exercises, reflective prompts, and engaging challenges designed to help you apply these principles to your own life. Your personal development is your life. It's your evolution. Take the next steps in becoming the best version of yourself. Your journey starts now. With Life Skills for the Journey and its companion workbook, it's time to invest in yourself and lead the life you were meant to live. Available now on Amazon.
To the Gloria Show. And I've been talking about finding my why and my purpose. And I hope that I have said something today that's resonated with you to help you on your journey and on your way. That's what I wanted to do today, was share a bit about me. Because, sometimes you wonder how people got to do what they do and why they do what they do. And maybe you wonder that in your own way. Some people are very silent and private in speaking about what they do and why they do it. And that's okay. It's good to be that way. But sometimes you want to speak out, because I get asked sometimes, how did you start doing what you're doing? How did you get to where you are? Well, I want to tell you, with almost 40 years of doing, yeah. And again, like I say, it's all in the fulfillment of life, and it's all in living the life. And I wanted to share that with you today, because I think it's important when we just stop and take a minute and let people know that your journey and how you really evolved. And to some, it may be, well, Gloria, who cares? And that's okay too. It's not about trying to make anybody care about anything. It's about saying, this is the Gloria Sloan who I am. And this is the Gloria Show. And I'm taking the opportunity to share with you my journey, because it's heartfelt. And I truly felt like it was something along the way that I could help you as to how I got to know my why that really became my purpose. And it was from my humble beginnings to how I was raised, to knowing my values, to putting perspective, the education process, in things that I already knew how to do. So that I tell people even all the time that no matter what you've learned, no matter how many pieces of paper and certificates and everything that you have, that you earned academically, I think that's great, and I applaud you in all of your endeavors. But there is a time in life when you have to culminate and put all of that stuff together to find your why and to pull out the greatness in you. Sometimes it takes more of that and all of that. When I was hiring people in my business, I hired people that had different kinds of degrees, MBAs. Yes, I did. Because when you're in event planning and conference management, you get people who were completing school fresh out of college, really didn't know what they wanted to do. But what I was able to do was help them to redirect some of the academic knowledge that they had into skills and talents that they really didn't know. And this is about job placement. This is why people hire people who they have the knowledge in the book knowledge, but my goodness, I've had people to tell me they didn't teach us this in college. We didn't learn how to, just simple skills. So I'm saying that it's all good, but you have to put it all together so it blends into helping you to become the person that you want to become and being able to use all of the skills and knowledge that you know how to do. So what I've learned on my journey is that you don't need a prestigious background to achieve your version of greatness. Let me say that again. For me, you don't need a prestigious background to achieve your version of greatness. What you need is a background that helps you to see your purpose. You need a purpose. So my life's trajectory has been shaped, again, I told you, by hard work, perseverance, a commitment to lifelong learning. And again, I'm grateful that most of my hardworking days are behind me. I'm thankful for my blessings and for being able to help others to find their purpose. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, so that you know that someone is watching you. And in words of my friend Les Brown, who was here on the last show, you have greatness. You have greatness. And you have to invest in yourself to see the greatness. Sometimes he said that on the show. He said, you have to take note of where you are in life and pay attention to where you are. And sometimes we're missing parts of our greatness because we're not paying attention to those things that matter, and we're not using the things that we have, and we're not willing to make investments in things that will help us. So that's what I'm going to tell you as I look at ways as something that I could leave with you and for you. When you look at investing in yourself, and you look at those things that are right in front of you, and you say, well, Gloria, I really want to make the commitment to invest, and you can do that. Thank you so much for watching The Gloria Show. And if today's episode has inspired you, and if I have said something that will help you to invest in yourself, to find your why and know your purpose, if you've liked this episode, I want you to share it, like it, and follow me so you'll always stay connected. You can follow me on YouTube and on all social media platforms, so you don't ever miss what's coming up, because I'm always bringing to you something good the best way that I know how. And remember, you can go to gloriasloan.com, www.gloriasloan.com. I want you to grab your free ebook. That's what I have for you today. Grab a copy of the free ebook, Everything I Want and Nothing That I Don't. It's packed with insights to help you create more clarity, freedom, and alignment in your life. Yeah, go to my website and grab a free copy of it, download it, and you'll see it's all laid out for you there. It's a free ebook. Everything I want and nothing that I don't. It's packed with insight that some of the things I talked about and shared today, it's going to help you to create and find more clarity and freedom and things that align with your life. That's what I want you to have today. I want you to grab a copy of it because I truly do believe that everything that I've said in some way, if you grab this ebook, it's going to help. It'll help you to sit still. Sometimes you have to sit still and look at your life just like it is, no matter how successful, how fabulous, how great, how everything you've got going on is going great. Sometimes you have to have something right in front of you to sit you still for a minute. And this free ebook will do it, because then you get to write down everything I want and nothing that I don't, to help you with your why and to finding your purpose, no matter where you are in life, no matter what age you are. Yeah. I mean, I know I talk to people who are in past retirement, just everybody's not a beginner, but every day can be a day of a new development, of personal development in your life, no matter what your age is. Even this ebook would give you something, everything I want, nothing that I don't, at an age of even retirement or thinking about retirement. Yeah, I think that there's something there for just about anybody who wants to invest and take a minute of something that only requires you to download it, look at it, and use it. So I'm going to leave you with this. Ultra successful people are always learning and seeking new ways to find fulfillment. To do what? To elevate personal development. And that's what I believe in. That's what I teach. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until we meet again, I want you to keep growing, keep learning, keep shining, and follow me. Follow me, like me, share it, tell someone else about it. So until next time, you keep shining, and I look to see you again soon. Goodbye for now.
You've been listening to The Gloria Show. Be sure to check out www.gloriasloan.com for more tools, strategies, and inspiration. And don't forget to connect with Gloria on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep moving toward your best self.